Hey everybody, it's Gracie with NEMR. Today I am going to be doing a step-by-step video on how to do our NEMR TV streaming. This video is going to be if you are going to use an Amazon Fire Stick. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get everything out of the box and laid out so that we see what we need to do next. Okay, so now that we got everything opened up and laid out, this is what all was in the box here. We got the Amazon Fire TV remote. So if you hear me talk about in this video, you're going to want to use your Fire Stick remote. This is the remote that I'm talking about. This is the remote that came with the Fire Stick. This is the actual Fire Stick itself. This is what we're going to use to plug it into the HDMI port on the back of the TV. And then this is going to plug into the Fire Stick. And I'll show you guys all how to do that. And then, of course, this is what we're going to use to plug it into the wall. And then most of the time they come with batteries for the remote. So I'm going to get this all hooked up the way that it's supposed to. And then I will show you the next step. Okay, so we've put batteries inside of our remote. And so that's where that is. And then I plugged the little end of the cord into the Fire Stick. And then the larger end, I plugged into the base. And then so now, we're going to plug this into this. And it's going to go like that. And then now, we're going to go to the next step, which is plugging it into the TV. Okay, so now we're going to plug this HDMI cable, this end, into the hole on the TV. So most of these are going to be labeled. And so here it says HDMI and then it says 1. So I'm going to plug this into HDMI 1. And you're going to want to remember HDMI 1. Okay? Then now I'm going to take this end and plug it into power. All right. Now we're ready to turn on the TV and go along to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to turn the TV on and navigate to the Fire Stick that we recently put on HDMI 1 in the back port of the TV. To do this, you're going to want to use the remote that came with the TV. So we're going to turn it on, and you're going to want to look for a button that says Source, Input, or wherever you would go to change the input on the TV. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to navigate to HDMI 1. So right now it's on HDMI 2, and I'm going to go to HDMI 1 because that's where I plugged in my Fire Stick. Click OK. And this brings up the Fire TV, and it's going to want me to hit the play button on the Fire Stick remote to get started. So I'm going to hit the play button, and we will go from there. Okay, so now it's on the screen where we select the language, and I'm going to select English. I'm going to do this by clicking the circle in the middle of the Fire Stick remote. So for a while, we're just going to be using the Fire Stick remote, okay? So the circle dot right here, English. So now it is going to give you the option to set up with your phone, which is where you could scan this QR code with the camera on your phone and log into your Amazon account. Or if you don't have one, you can create one there. Or you can decide to use the remote instead. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to click Use Remote instead. And I'm going to do this by clicking the circle in the middle. So this is basically the OK button on normal remotes. So use remote instead. So it's going to be scanning for a Wi-Fi network. So it's going to show all of your choices. So in this point, I'm going to ask that you select your Wi-Fi network when it shows up here and click on it and enter your password. I'm going to pause the video here so that we can enter in our Wi-Fi information, and then we will go on to the next step. Okay, so once you get the Wi-Fi set up, it's probably going to want to do an update. So you're going to see this screen next. So after that screen is finished, we will go on to the next step. Okay, so now that all the updates have been performed, it's going to take you to a screen that wants you to sign in with your Amazon account. If you have an Amazon account already, you're going to want to select that option. But if you don't have one, you could create a free account. So I am going to use this remote, our Amazon Fire remote, and we're going to click have an account sign in because I have an Amazon account. So you could do a couple different things here. You could either sign in online by going to Amazon.com/code. And when that does happen, they'll want you to put in this code right here, whatever it says. Yours will be different. This is just for the demo. Or you could scan the QR code and sign in that way. Or you can continue to sign in using the remote if you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and press the little 3 lines to continue the sign in on the remote for the sake of the demo. But you could choose any of these options. So now it's going to ask me to enter in my information. It's going to ask for my email address and my Amazon password. So I'm going to pause here and enter that information, and you could do the same. And then once I get past that point, we'll come back. Okay, so I've entered in my Amazon username and password. Now it's going to do a verification code. So they're either going to send you a text message or an email to the email address for your Amazon account, and there will be a code that you have to put in here. And you'll use this to navigate through the numbers. And once you have it put in there, you're going to navigate down to the sign in button. So I'm going to pause here and enter in my information, and you can enter in yours. Okay, so once you get logged in, you're going to probably notice the Fire Stick has loaded in some offers to get some specialty TV apps and stuff. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to explore those a little bit. But if you're not, then just move over to this thing right here that says no thanks. So we're just going to click no thanks. And then I'm just going to keep saying no thanks for the sake of this demo. But if you have a lot of streaming services that you want to use, then I would recommend adding those as well. But if you're only going to be using this for NEMR TV, then I would just keep skipping. And then it's always going to say that you could set up purchase and parental controls. We're just going to click continue. If that's something that you want to set up, it's going to ask you to set up a PIN. So this will make sure that if you put in a form of payment that doesn't get used without you verifying it. So you're going to want to write this PIN down, and it tells you how to do it on the screen, like the up arrow for 1, side for 2, 3 is down, 0, and 4. So I'm going to make this PIN 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. You make your own PIN and don't tell anybody, and just have it written down in case you would ever need it. So now it's going to ask you who's watching, and Gracie Gordon. So I'm going to click on me. I'm going to use this circle again. All right, so now once we're here, you're going to see a whole bunch of options. And if this is any of the stuff you would ever want to watch, totally tune in and look into that. But we're going to go to find. So we're going to look for this magnifying glass here and go to the search bar. And in the search bar, we are going to type in NEMR. So NEMR. And then down here, we're going to click search. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom where it says apps and games. And you will find our logo. This is always going to be our logo. So make sure you find it and then click the OK. And now you're going to click the get free to download. And that's going to start downloading. So now is when you're going to have to put in that PIN that you just made. So I'm going to put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And it's going to start processing. So once it gets downloaded, it'll open. And now we're going to need the login and passphrase that was sent to you via email. So I'm going to pause here while I go get my computer so that I can pull up my email. This will be sent to the email address that you gave us here at NEMR. Or if you gave us a different one, then you can call the office and we can send a different code to you, whatever email you need it sent to. So we'll be right back. Okay, so this is what the email that you will get from us looks like. So it's going to say, welcome to NEMR TV. To activate your subscription, enter the credentials provided below when initially signing into the NEMR TV app on any supported device. So we're going to put the login and passphrase. If we look back to the TV, that's what it's going to ask us for. So I'm going to enter in the login and passphrase per the email. So for the login, it says that the code is 75203. And so when you are doing this at home, this is going to be a totally different code because every code is going to be unique. So this is just for the demo. And we're still using our Fire Stick remote. Next. And then the passphrase, okay? 227333133. And we're going to hit next. Save. You won't have to do this every time that you log in. This is just a one-time thing. All right, so now we're here, and here's our TV. So let's turn on Let's Make a Deal. Okay, so actually I'll go back to show you guys. So this is our guide, and so it's going to work just like your older NEMR TV did, but we're going to be using this remote. So this is the remote you're always going to use when you're watching NEMR TV. So you can use the down to scroll down to go through your channels, and the up to go up. So let's get to Let's Make a Deal. So let's say that's what I want to watch. I'm going to hit the circle button and then watch. Oh, there it is. Let's Make a Deal, right? Okay, so let's say I watched my Let's Make a Deal and I don't want to watch this anymore. I hit the back arrow and that will take me back to the guide. Or we're going back to Let's Make a Deal. If you're still watching, then you can hit the up arrow to navigate to channels. So now we're on Jeopardy, a different show, or we could go down to scroll through channels. Then, like I said, to get back to the guide, you'll hit this back arrow and you'll just navigate this way. There's no way to type in like channel numbers, so you'll just have to scroll up and down to find the shows that you want. If you click on them and let's say you wanted to, so let's go back to Let's Make a Deal. You can watch, you could start it over. So let's say you're tuning in at the wrong time, start the show over, or you can record it. So if you have the DVR, you can record it. And then the search option, I think, will allow you to search for Let's Make a Deal like where it's playing at. So if you didn't want to watch it on this channel and it was playing somewhere else. So yeah, that pretty well sums that up. I'm going to pause right here and then I'll take you through another couple tips and tricks. Okay, so this Fire Stick automatically synced to the TV. So now the Fire Stick is able to be used to shut the TV off, and then you can use it to turn it back on. Maybe. There we go. Okay, you can use it to turn it back on, and you can use it for volume controls. But let's say your TV doesn't do this, and you have to use this remote. It's still going to totally be an option. I just know not everyone loves having to do two remotes. But let's say you hit something on this remote, and you end up back on, let's see here. Let me kind of play with it a little bit here. Let's say you messed it up, and now, well, maybe it wants to go. Let's say you messed it up, and now you're on live TV. Oh no, I've messed my TV up. What's going to happen? So we're going to hit the source button again and navigate back to that HDMI 1. So you will always be able to find your NEMR TV on HDMI 1. Okay, so we're playing around with this Fire Stick remote that, you know, everyone's kind of new with, and oh no, I hit the home button. Where did it all go? So when you're home, you're going to be able to scroll down into the recently used apps, and you'll find our logo again. And then you'll click OK, or the circle here, and it'll take you right back to our NEMR TV. If you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to give our office a call at 660-874-4111, and we would be happy to help you. And I hope this video makes the TV setup process less stressful.